The Assassin's Creed Movie Review by Marcus Blake. Let me start out by saying that if you are a fan of the game series, then you will probably love this movie. There's a lot of nods to the series, very stylish. You will feel right at home if you have played Assassin's Creed. But if you haven't and you don't know anything about the story, then the movie will probably be a little convoluted for you. And I don't know if the producers or the director was purposely making it that way, but I definitely think that this is a movie for the fans of the game series, not for the regular moviegoer that just wanders into this movie because it looks interesting. This movie is not a great movie, but it is definitely one of the better movies based on games. Unlike movies like Prince of Persia, which completely sucked, or the Mario Brothers movie, or Street Fighter, or Double Dragon, or anything that you can think of that it's just been campy and bad compared to the game. Assassin's Creed is not one of those. But I honestly can't say that it's an absolute great movie. It is a movie that I will watch more than once. And we'll dive right into what works for it and what doesn't work for it. The biggest thing that it does take you a little bit into the history of the Assassin's Creed Order and what they're all about, trying to protect the Apple of Eden from the Knights Templar who are trying to control free thought. And you will recognize the storyline again if you are a fan of the games. It does have a very good cast with Michael Fassbender playing Aguilar and Callum Lynch, Maria Colliard, who does play Sophia, and of course Jeremy Irons, who plays basically the mad scientist of this game, who is the head of the Templar Order, who's trying to find the Apple of Eden and basically be able to control free thought, and therefore is their excuse and violence. The best parts about this movie is when we do get to see the assassins in action. It is a throwback to an old school Chinese martial arts movie, very much in the vein of Jet Li type style or Bruce Lee and all that. And it's gorgeous setting being in Spain. The fighting sequences are awesome. Everything that you loved about the game in that regard, you will love in the movie. Michael Fassbender definitely does a really good job playing Callum Lynch and Aguilar the assassin. But I also think they don't give him a whole lot to work with, because this movie is really designed to set up a trilogy more than anything else. It's supposed to introduce us to the Assassin's Creed Order and what their purpose is. The plot basically surrounds the organization that is trying to find the Apple of Eden, and they build up the Adamus. But instead of it being this chamber, it's basically a claw that with a little plug that connects to the nervous system, and you get to see a lot of all the action of the assassins. You basically, Michael Fassbender's character Callum Lynch is doing it at the same time in the lab. So it does make for a very interesting dynamic between that neural connection and the DNA neural connection between the assassins. They purposely leave an air of mystery surrounding all the assassins and the people they have captured, that are descendants of assassins, trying to build up this big mystery about their order. Because the less the more the more curious you are about it. But there's also a lot of vague dialogue that leads to that mystery, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Really, again, the best parts of the entire movie are, the scenes in 1492 in Spain when the assassins are trying to escape execution and, save the Apple of Eden. But the dynamic between Callum Lynch and while he's in this lab and being tested on, and everybody else that's a descendant of an assassin, and of course you got Brendan Gleeson who plays his father. there just isn't really a whole lot going on. I very much felt like I was in, the movie The Island, where they don't tell you the truth and give you the spin of a story to make you feel safe and not want to leave. But then again, you also have an order of assassins, people who have been, who have bloodlines that have been, or descendants of other assassins who figure out who they are, and their job is to show Callum Lynch the way and who he truly is. So, and of course, it leads up to the final confrontation of stopping the Templars and an assassin killing the main guy and protecting the apple. The movie is very stylish. It's one of the most stylish movies based on games. But again, it's not great. I would only give this movie a 7 out of 10. Okay. It's definitely better than a lot of movies we've seen in 2016, like Suicide Squad. It's definitely worth watching again. But I think this movie the brilliance of this movie will best seen if there is an actual trilogy, and this is the beginning chapter. Now that, Callum Lynch accepts his destiny and becomes part of the Assassin's Creed Order. And I hope that we actually do get to see that. Because it is kind of cool to see Men in the Shadows and, this ongoing war between Templars and the Assassin's Creed Order and it being carried over. And, of course, a little bit of mystery about Sophia, Maria Colliard's character, and who she might actually be related to and what her true destiny really is. Because she is sympathetic to the assassins in a way, but also is not trying to harm them, just trying to, get the truth out for the Templars and her father's organization. I don't know if I would pay $15 to go see this movie, for a regular price movie ticket. A matinee on a Saturday afternoon, absolutely. It's worth the 2 hours to be able to see that, especially the action scenes, because those are done great. And, props to the stunt devils for everything that they did. That's really the best part. Everything else is just kind of telling, the story and leading you to the next step in the movie. But this is a franchise that, I think that they can definitely make more movies on. I think there's definitely other stories that, they can tell just like they did with the games. And I think it's something that, might be very interesting. I mean, if we're going to keep getting subjected to movies based off Dan Brown novels where there's, mystery and history and clues that lead you to the truth, then I don't see why we shouldn't keep making Assassin's Creed movies. And in fact, I'd like to see some of them on the high seas, kind of like, we've seen in the games. But yes, if you're a fan of the game series, go see the movie. There's a lot of things in there that you will absolutely love. Okay. If this movie just looks interesting to you, but you're not really sure and you've never played the game, then go see a matinee or wait for it to hit DVD, Blu-ray, or Redbox or on demand. Okay. Or even cable. It's an okay movie. And again, definitely worth watching more than once. But I wouldn't go into expecting it to be the end-all of end-all, of great movies, despite, how good the cast really is. But definitely worth watching the action scenes, which are some of the best that I've seen in a long time. So, 7 out of 10, that's our review of Assassin's Creed. Just okay, but worth watching more than once.